A triangle is a polygon formed by segments joining three non-collinear points. Remember, non-collinear means not in one line. So if I make 3 points that are not in one line and then I join them with segments, I'm forming a triangle. Three angles, triangle. To classify a triangle, classify meaning to group it, we can use either angle names or side names. Acute triangle has 3 acute angles. If we draw an acute triangle, we need to make sure that we are drawing it such that all 3 angles look acute. An obtuse triangle has 1 obtuse angle. So when I draw an obtuse triangle, I usually start by drawing an obtuse angle, see how this angle looks greater than 90 degrees, and then connecting to make the third side. A right triangle has 1 right angle. So similarly to the obtuse triangle, I start by drawing a right angle and then I connect to make the third side. Equiangular triangle has, look at what this part of the word is, equi is like equal. Angular, angles, has 3 congruent angles. So when I draw that, I try to make all 3 angles look like they're the same measure, but we need to mark that they're the same measure with angle congruent marks. So this is just a review of how to classify triangles by their angles. Here's a review of how to classify them by their sides. Equilateral. Lateral refers to the sides. Equi, again, for equal. So equilateral has 3 congruent sides. And we can draw that, again, the sides all trying to look congruent, and put congruent marks through the sides. An isosceles triangle has at least 2 congruent sides. So when I draw it, I try to make it look like 2 sides are congruent, and I put congruent slashes through 2 of those sides. Now notice the words at least, because it could have 3 congruent sides, which means it could be equilateral. An isosceles triangle can be equilateral. So I can have it like this because it has at least 2 congruent sides. Scalene has no congruent sides. So if I draw a scalene triangle, either I mark all the sides with different marks or with different measurements. Let's review how to name parts of a triangle so that we're all speaking the same language. These points where the segments are come together are called the vertices. There are 3 vertices. That's how we say it plural. One of the points is a vertex, the vertex. The segment that joins the vertices are called the sides. Then we have inside, one of the angles is an interior angle. And if I extend the side like that, I can draw outside of the triangle the exterior angle. That's one of the exterior angles in the picture. Special parts of a right and isosceles triangle. We're going to make this one look like a right triangle by putting the right angle here. So if we have the right angle there, we can sort of think of that like an arrow pointing to the longest side, that's called the hypotenuse, and then the 2 other sides that are adjacent to the right angle are called the legs. For an isosceles triangle, the 2 congruent sides are called the legs. The side that's not congruent is called the base, often because you see the isosceles triangle standing on its base like a bottom. The 2 interior angles are called the base angles. the base angles. And the base angles theorem that we're going to write down and practice in a moment tells us that the base angles of an isosceles triangle are congruent. Then we've got the angle that is across from the base. That is called the vertex angle.